This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Lawn Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.
Finance Corp has been helping West Australians for over 16 years, and in that time, we have financed well over $1 billion in lending for our clients. So I keep getting asked, why Finance Corp? Why are we so special? I think it comes down to a range of reasons, not just one. And the best part of it all, it doesn't cost a cent.
So when I was just thinking of buying an investment property, I didn't know what I needed or even how much I could spend. I worked long hours and I didn't have the time or even know where to start to look for loans or products. A friend of mine told me about Finance Corp and they were just simply brilliant.
Every single situation is unique in its own way. We've had clients in the past who have already been refused by the banks or other brokers. But by asking the right questions, we have been able to get people's finance through and with a range of options.
We know that people lead busy lifestyles and may work odd hours, and so do we. Whether they'd like to come to our office or for us to go out to them, we'll arrange a time that's convenient. And we even work after hours or on weekends. The finance industry is constantly changing with new rules, regulations, and so many more products and services available. With continual training and up-to-date information sessions, our team are consistently on top of these changes and are able to offer the best fit for whoever they see.
With access to a vast array of lenders and products, we don't work for the banks. We work for our clients, and that's it.
We also work very closely with real estate agents and fully understand the importance of providing prompt and efficient service.
So as an agent, I refer all my clients to Finance Corp. The reason behind that is they will always call the client straight away, and then they also follow up to find out what they're able to borrow. It's crucial when I'm speaking to my sellers to find out whether the finance that the clients are applying for is going to get approved and be able to get the deal done.
This is a relationship-based industry. Relationships are built on trust and integrity, and I know that this has been one of the key reasons we have been here for as long as that we have. I don't like using the word client. For us, it's personal, and it just has to be.
Of course it's personal, and because of this, it's exciting and rewarding when we know we have helped people with those new purchases or their financial well-being.
They helped me through the whole process from start to finish and they did all of the work for me. Well, except find the house.
And Finance Corp isn't just about getting new loans. If it has anything to do with your financial future, we're sure we can help.
And because of the amazing service, we've referred so many of our friends and family to Finance Corp and they've been just as excited and impressed as what we have been.
We find that our clients are clients for life because we genuinely care. So why choose Finance Corp? Because it's quite simply finance made easy.
Hello and welcome to the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde and
Catherine Smith.
how are you?
Right, good morning.
Yeah, right. From Bill Wright. It's in the original intro anyway now, so
Well, let's introduce it.
we have a fantastic guest with us again today. We have Tracey Franco from Finance Corp. Hi, Tracy.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. I'm always happy to come along and help educate
I
people.
was so excited when we managed to snag you for a time to come in and speak because I know that your knowledge is great. And on that, I suppose, about yourself.
Sure. So I'm Tracey Franco. I'm the owner of Finance Corp. I've been in finance for roughly about 24 years and I've been a mortgage broker for 19 years. So I've got a staff of 35. We have 25 mortgage brokers that currently work for us and we have about 10 amazing admin staff.
Wow, 25 brokers. How do you find the time to come and see us is our first question. Let's be fair. Because even setting up, you're answering the phone, calling people back. I mean, I definitely don't have 25 brokers, but I can imagine the trial and tribulations of that?
It's very full on. You have to keep a very strict diet, a diary. The diary has to be, I guess, rigid, and it's all colour coded, and I make time for everybody, even if I then don't go to sleep till 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So it's all about, keeping a good diary, and I find that works, I guess, well most of the time.
Yeah, I've known you for probably maybe 18 months now. We've kind of sort of worked together a little bit, and the amount of things that you do, I was like, how do you have, I'm tired thinking about it. So that's an absolutely and you're still writing loans.
Yes, the odd one or two, yes, just to help out. Just my old clients that are, I guess, very dear, and I deal with their parents and their sisters, and that's the fun part of my job.
That's what I suppose I love about it. You've got this big company with all those, yet you still look after your number ones, your clients, and your family, and so you're still getting that personal connection and just keeping your finger on the pulse. Is really good. So again, like thank you for coming on. So like, what is it like? So you're in obviously finance. So what is it you do, and like, how do you kind of help people? What's the sort of?
Okay, so we can pretty much do finance for anything. So whether it be home loans, building loans, refinance, commercial loans, buying a commercial property, self-managed super fund, car loans, anything to do with finance, we can help.
Yep.
And we've got obviously different brokers that specialise in the different types of loans as well, which I think is really important. If you're looking at getting a construction loan, well, you want someone that specialises in it, because it is a little bit different to just buying an established property.
Yep. Yeah.
So we do have brokers that specialise in those different areas, a bit like self-managed super funds. Again, they're very different and commercial. So a resi broker doesn't know the ins and outs of a commercial loan, so you need to have someone that specialises in that.
I agree with you, because a lot of clients actually come to me and they're like, oh, my cousin's a finance broker and this. I'm like, great, but do they understand construction loans? Because that's a different setup entirely, and it's a different kettle of fish, And then when I sort of explain to them, obviously, that there's progress payments and what have you, then all of a sudden they go, oh, I'm not quite sure they know, and they sort of go, I said, look, I'm happy to refer you to another broker that specialises in construction. I actually find, you'll find the same, Tony, but probably in Perth there's probably maybe 3 or 4 that are sort of third party, not actually internal with a building company, that actually do specialise in construction loans. It's not actually as well known as people understand, because a lot of times people will go directly to the internal broker with that building company.
Yeah.
Who obviously does specialise in construction loans. So
I think it's the same sort of thing as what the miscommunication out there is. If a building company or a building rep says, I've got this house and land package, that they own the land, or the land's completely separate, and it's really same sort of thing as well. Have you worked with this broker inside a finance broker?
Yeah.
Just do your due diligence on it. And again, we always say it, come and speak to us and we'll tell you actually what's going on here. It's the broking world is not huge in WA, but it's certainly growing, and it's certainly the best way to go, I feel, because then you can really spread your risk across what you're looking for. But there's a lot of misinformation out there about what actually, they've got house and land packages, they don't own the land. They'll help you get the land, but they don't own the land.
Yeah.
And a lot of clients come to us thinking that the builder actually owns it, and I'm like, no, the builder doesn't own it.
Not necessarily owns it, but they have to build with that builder.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So they'll go, oh, so such Tony from, such and such building company got me this land and I have to use this broker, and you're like, you actually don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I think also, those project builders do have their internal finance companies, just really more to control the deal more so than anything, right?
I think that's worse because you need someone independent to your actual builder, because I've had it quite a bit where something's gone wrong and the broker backs the builder because they work there. And when they come to me, I have to basically investigate what's happened. They didn't know anything about mortgage insurance or, the progress draws. We've got this awesome spreadsheet that actually breaks it down and gives them kind of an estimate of what they're paying when. So I just think that if you've got an independent broker, aside from the builder, that's really important, because you are going to get, I guess, the full truth. And I'm not saying that the brokers that work, with the builders are doing the wrong thing, but just having that independent mortgage broker, me personally, I would do that.
And I think me and Kath are the same. That's why we sit in the position of basically, I class it as a midfield general for our clients. We sit in there because we've got our clients' best interests at hand. And then you've got all the 4 or 5 other aspects, the finance broker, the land agent, the builder, the settlement agent. who are only really wanting their little part of the deal. We want to be there, make sure everything's channeled through us so we can help control it for the clients and take all that stress away. Whereas, we'll pass you on to the builder when it's time to pass you on, but we're still there to help with any issues that arise. Go through the normal tool, go your customer service, but if there is an issue, you've got me and Kath behind you going, no, this isn't right. We've got the better channels than a sales rep. Again, because we're completely independent, we don't have any, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word?
Incentive.
Yeah, incentive to stick with that one builder. It's about the client and what works best. When you come and see us, we find the best deals. That's why we have so many different avenues in the finance world, the land agents, real estate agents, all that. That's why we work our arses off to get that stuff done, so that when the clients come to us, we're completely prepared and go, we do the best deal for you.
Yeah. So from a finance perspective, how are you finding the shift in terms of with construction loans at the moment, in terms of, like the volume that you're doing and things like that?
I think it will be shifting more towards the construction side of it, because people just go to home opens, they're up against 100 people, and they're putting offers in, and they think they are putting their best offer forward, because a lot of them can only afford a certain amount because interest rates have risen, and they're just getting really disappointed, and they're not wanting to put their house on the market if they haven't got anywhere to go to.
Yeah.
And my dad's actually in real estate, and I was talking to him about it, and he was even saying that people are going to start building now. Because they're going to have choice. They can find their land, and they're not up against, another 50 to 100 people and multiple offers. And I guess, they know what they're paying for their land. They're picking their house price, and they have choice. So we're starting to see, things change, whereas before everybody was buying established because of, the building trade obviously being behind during COVID. We're definitely getting busier on the construction side.
Yeah. And on that construction side, we're seeing the times coming in massively right now. I mean, there's still a little bit of negative press out there, but there are people that signed up in 2020, 2021 that have just unfortunately had a rough end of the deal of that. But we were seeing 9, 10, 11-month builds coming back, which is phenomenal, which is going to give us that confidence to go back into it.
Yeah, agreed. And I think the confidence is coming back into the building market now as well. And and I guess my job as a broker is to educate people of what's going on in the industry as well. I can tell them about the established industry, established homes, and also building, and give them a little bit of a, education, and then they make an educated decision on what to do.
Yeah.
And that's our job as brokers. Like with you guys with building options, you've got multiple options. We're exactly the same. And at the end of the day, I want them to make the right choice, because it's expensive with fees, and stamp duty getting in. So we're just all about giving them options, taking them under our wing and helping them through. And again, like you, we're talking to settlement agents, we're talking to the builders, the land agents, the real estate agents, and just helping it all, I guess, come together.
Yeah. I think you probably feel the same as us. It's just honestly in the last at least 3 years, the price difference in, contracts now, established and construction, just through the roof, and we see build contracts all the time. And you're like, wow, it wasn't that long ago that this would have been 180 grand or whatever, and now it's 370. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's so much more expensive than last time I built, because you're having those people coming back, and you go, yes, but also this has an established market, My friend, he bought his house $650 in Dianella 3 years ago, and now he's just sold it for $970. He's done nothing to it. Wow. So it's 300 grand in 3 years. He goes, I've literally made 100 grand a year, and I have done no improvements to the house. Is that, and I said, exactly. So with construction, it's exactly the same.
It's the same as I've got a client right now, and he's kind of floating between building and established, and he keeps going back and forward, and just giving him his time. I think he'll build, but he went in a home open and he says, it was a 3x1, couldn't get in. He said to the guy, it's up for 440. He goes, but we're not going to take anything less than 550. And this was up north somewhere like Warwick or something. And I was like,
so why are they advertising for 440 then,
It's a starting
people
point, mate.
get people in the
From-
door.
from 12 grand.
You get people in the door. There's people, unfortunately, clients that are so desperate to get something, pay over the odds. And he says it was a heap. Like, wasn't the best house, but people need something just to jump to, right?
But you've also got the investors heavily coming to the market.
Yeah.
In the last probably 6 to 12 months, we've written the most amount of investment loans we've written in 5 or 10 years.
I believe you.
So, yeah, it's getting flooded. But unfortunately, because rates have gone up, I think, 13 times in the last however many months. Their affordability has dropped a lot. So you've also got people looking at established homes that have a very strict budget, and they're the ones that keep missing out. So it's really unfortunate. And that's where I guess the debt consolidation comes into it. We're trying to look at people's situations and, consolidate their personal loans or their car loans so their affordability is better.
Yeah.
Or even if they're not buying anything, if they're just not affording living every day, then we're also looking at that and trying to consolidate, get them a better interest rate on their home loans. So then they're in a better position so they can actually live as well. So having said that, next year, hopefully the market will change and interest rates, hopefully, please God, will start going down. And that means that the affordability will get better, and then it'll be easier for us to be able to refinance or get construction loans or investments because they can borrow more. And with the housing prices going up so much, you get approved for $300,000. What are you going to buy? There's
A block.
yeah,
A block. You could put a tent on it.
yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, serviceability is an issue, but also interest rates as well. But yeah, I think everyone is hoping we get a bit of a breath next year with that.
I mean, there's two things. I think what I've been kind of chatting, some clients have been chatting to me going, well, if I need to build, I'm going to build something that I can live in for a couple of years and then rent it. And then try and find something that I want more. And I'm like, that's a really smart way to do it, to get into the market.
The equity up too.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I mean, I bought my first investment at 21. And that was a home, and I kept that for 7 years and I doubled my money. And, back then, if you constructed, by the time the 12 months was up, you actually earned 50 to 100,000. Yep. And we've also done a couple of speckies in the past as well, where we actually earned exactly that on those properties. So building at the moment, they are, finally going to make some money if they do build. And after it's built, they can then decide if they want to move in or they want to rent it. Mm-hmm. And they will have, people wanting to rent it at top dollar.
Yeah, I'm finding the rapid shift in pricing in the established market. By the time people get keys in their hand from their build, the equity is quite substantial enough to either refinance or, look into other options there.
Yeah, I think, can we go back? You talked about debt consolidation. This is a huge one for me because we get a lot out, and it kind of unsung that we do. We do a lot with those people come in. Well, we're going to try and get you to break it down a little bit with some tips and tricks and tell us a bit more. Some of the things that we see, and this is where we harp on about when you're sitting in a display home and the guy's saying you can borrow this, just rip the paper up and walk away. They're not taking any consideration all your debts and all the things. So what would be tips and tricks? So say someone's coming in looking to get a loan, whatever, construction or established, they've got a bit of debt. What's the kind of best way to go around it? I know, Kath, you jumped on this be bloody honest, but
Yeah, but sometimes they're just not honest. But with the finance people, they are generally. Yeah. So generally, save as much as they can. Don't take on any more debt if they're thinking of buying. Don't change their jobs. And I guess be open to ideas of having their car refinanced, or doing a debt consolidation to actually reduce that repayment so they can borrow for what they want. Because this is a home that they're building or buying that's going to be, 5 to 10 or 15-year thing. They need to, I guess, listen to what the mortgage broker's saying and, looking at the options and being open to those options as well. So, but the most important thing is, we may have to close a credit card. That's okay. Close it for now, get what you need, and then apply later. Yeah. It's no definite that you're going to get the credit card later, but credit cards are a lot easier to get than what home loans are. So, just the clients need to be open to, I guess, changing their situation, even to the point of living expenses. That's always my favourite part of our client needs analysis.
Yes.
Some people, have a budget and they tell me exact, some don't, and that's fine. But a lot of them actually go, wow, I didn't think I spent that much on groceries or everyday living. And it's quite an eye-opener as well. So I guess people, when they come and see us, just need to be open to listening to ideas that we've got, because we know what we're doing. We've been doing it for years. And, we are licensed, so we're acting in the best interests of the clients because we have to. And they just need to, as I say, be open to changing up what they've currently got for now, because the bank actually looks at their situation as of today. Mm-hmm. So if they're getting inheritance in 6 months' time, bank doesn't care. If their income's going up in 6 months, it doesn't matter. They need to have a parameter to look at, and it's today. Yep. So they will look at their situation. So don't be on probation. As I said, stay in your job as long as possible. Don't switch industries. Try and be permanent part-time or permanent full-time. if you're getting further debt, well, that's just going to push your serviceability down. So, they're the general tips, and I think they're pretty basic. But again, it comes down to I do finance every day, so it's our job to educate clients on those things.
With the debt consolidation, does it go? I imagine it would go on each kind of client in each scenario. Would it be better to consolidate all the loans, or would it be better to keep them?
Correct. So we had one client just recently that had 90,000 in credit cards and personal loans. So they tried to refinance. No.
Tony just was like, oh, shit. Like, okay. Sorry. That was unprofessional. Or else I was like, oh, poor man.
So 90,000. So a few years ago, they tried to refinance, but because the housing market in WA was so bad, the valuation didn't come in enough. So realistically, they were stuck. Mm-hmm. So now that the valuations have gone up, what we did, we debt consolidated part of the debt so we could keep their home loan under 80%, so then they wouldn't pay mortgage insurance. And then the other debts we put all together and we lowered the repayment. So then when we went to the bank, which was the same bank they'd tried 2 years ago, they gave us a little bit of curry, but that's normal for the banks. They've always got to ask a million questions. Used to it. That's just normal. I'm pretty sure we should have an unconditional any day now, but they've got a more controlled, amount of debt because we've put majority of it into the home loan. So it'll be one repayment. And I think my broker saved them about $2,500 a month or something. Like, it was just amazing.
And, it's not something to take on lightly, because I know obviously you're doing it as a business and, things like that, but you're actually changing people's lives. And I don't even mean it in a dramatic sort of emotional way, but it really is. The impact on saving that amount of money for someone literally changes their life.
And I guess that's the fun of our job. That's why I started doing it, because I love property, I love investing, I love money, I love all that sort of stuff. And I guess when I got into broking, it was just my jam. It was, helping people. And that's what I say to my brokers, where we are changing people's lives, and, they're purchasing their home. It's I think in the top 3 things that you do in your life.
Yeah.
So it is our job to take them under the wing. We know the process, they don't, and help them through that. It's a major thing you do in your life. And they're spending a lot of money, and it is a lot of stress as well. So, we've got one lady that was in business and that didn't go well. And, we're trying to consolidate everything and, refinance to actually put her in a better position. And, the poor lady, when she called, she was in tears, and it is emotional.
Yeah.
It's not what you want in business. It's unfortunate, but it's our job as a broker to then present options and, get her in a better position. But not only just once, but then continue to look after her. Mm-hmm. Broker gets paid trails, so it's our job to keep in contact with them, reprice their home loan and do the right thing by them.
Yeah, I think also we can relate, getting that high, because when you do right by the client, all of a sudden, you built for $590 and then it gets valued at $720. When they get keys in hand, it's like you get this genuine high where you've like, yes, I've done something right. I really have impacted their life in such a positive way. And it's like, this house might have never been their forever home, but now it's this huge opportunity where they can in the future,
And I was going to say, and then the other thing too, now that they've got that equity, we encourage them to invest. Go to your accountant, a financial planner as well. But once they build up the equity, a lot of people then want to invest. Mm-hmm. And now that WA's market, with the valuations has come up so much, now is the time to utilise that equty. And, if you always wanted to, build an investment or buy an investment, now's the time.
Yeah. Just don't get a $90,000 credit card debt.
No, and don't do afterpay. Don't do, anything that has a credit.
No. What, TAB? No OnlyFans. Do you see OnlyFans a lot? Is that a thing yet?
No,
I've heard about people can't getting loans because they got too much OnlyFans subscription.
Oh wow,
silly boys. Let me
tell you. Said my couple of stories of the guys that were lifting,
not naming names,
lifting money on a Friday night every 4 weeks and stuff like that, and the banks are going, why are you in the pub all afternoon and like that? I was like, oh, mate, just lift the money during the... Anyway, but it's like, we've seen it all as well. I've seen people resisting, like, I don't want to have one big loan, like, to consolidate. And then I watched the broker write it out, the money they're saving. Okay, they think that loan's going to last me 2 years. But in the long run, you're going to save $10,000, $15,000 in interest payments. And they're like, wow, okay, hold on. Yeah, one payment done, and then you've got... It sold me on it, so it was really good. But
yeah, All right, just to wrap it up, Tracy, thank you for coming on, but we're going to ask you some very serious questions just for people to get to know you. Okay, first question. It's always controversial, but Eagles or Dockers?
I don't really follow the footy, but if I had to say, probably Dockers because I live in Freo, so...
Oh, well, that goes on to my second question, is North or South?
Oh, definitely South.
Yeah, we're both South.
Be sappy, mate.
Rottnest or Dunsborough?
Definitely Dunsborough. I hate Rotto. And
Really?
I never, ever go again.
Stop it.
It's overpriced. There's nothing to do because I don't swim because my hair will go curly. So, yeah.
So same with Dunsborough, though. There's a beach there.
Dunsborough, there's shops, there's
Yeah.
Bustleton, there's wineries. Dunsborough every day of the week.
Okay, cool. If you were going to invest in a suburb right now, where would you put your money?
Coastal's always going to get you the best bang for your buck, I guess. So, yeah, any coastal areas is where I'd be.
Okay, and just to wrap it up, if you were going to build today, which builder would you choose?
Well, in the past, we've built with the Home Group, which was Scott Park at the time, and also New Generation, which is owned by Summit.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably have to say Summit every day of the week.
No,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, thanks for having us. Thanks for coming on, Tracy.
My pleasure.
I hope it wasn't too scary.
Oh, no, it was easy. I know my stuff, so yeah, happy to educate anytime.
And again, so thank you so much. And to all the viewers and listeners, please like, subscribe and follow. It really helps us get our message out there to help everyone. And we'll speak to you soon. Bye now.
Bye.